All right, next I want to show you a two tank strategy. And I don't even know what I'm going to do for a deck completely for this. Probably all I'm going to do is put the Viking in place of the Angel, of what I was doing with the Dragon Angel combo. Now I am going to do a two tank strategy. And notice the average cost jumped to 2.9. This is a really stupid deck to play. And so you actually have to think through how you're going to play it. And this is when I start using reserve. So what I'm going to do is decide on a 3 card reserve, and that I'm going to hold on to in my hand and only play the 4th card. So there's only going to be 1 card in my hand that I'm going to play at a time, and I'm just going to play them in order, and that will keep down the effective average cost of my deck, and allows me to keep 2 tanks. And the advantage of having 2 tanks is if you can get both out on the game board at a time, it is very hard to defend against, and it just really kind of puts your opponent on the back foot, because they are trying to figure out how in the world did you manage to play 2 tanks at once? That's a lot of mana. Where did you get all this mana from? And they can't figure out why your deck is working the way it's working, and it's just it's just very unsettling for your opponent. Now these decks I don't feel like these decks really work at high elo, but it's fun at lower ranks, and it's fun in friendly battles to use a strategy like this. So what I have to do is I have to decide on my 5-card deck. I mean, well, really, the big thing is to decide on your 3-card reserve. So probably my 3-card reserve is going to be the Dragon, because he's lower health, and my Rolaiser, and then maybe my Koala. So what I'll do is I'll focus on playing the Viking, the Devil, the Witch Doctor, the Skellywag, and the Boulder. The Boulder I play to counter units, and then so the same with the Viking. And then I will hold these 3 cards in reserve, and then I will only play the Rolaiser for mana bricks. I will only play the Koala when there's an opportunity to get a jump, and I will only play the Dragon when I have a lot of extra mana, and there's a good opening for the Dragon. And so, or if I need to defend against, say, the from the grave or something like that. So basically, the goal is to not play these unless absolutely necessary, and then I'm only cycling through these cards: the Viking, the Devil, the Witch Doctor, the Skellywag, and the Boulder. And this will give me an effective average cost of 2, 4, 5, 7, 12 divided by 5 of what is that? 2.4. So this mini deck inside my deck is a 2.4 average cost, which is relatively efficient. And so then, but then I have these other backup cards, which I can throw in when necessary. And anyway, it's one way of playing. I don't really feel like it works very well, but it's kind of fun to play with at times. So one of the reasons it doesn't work very well is you are stuck with only 1 card to play at all times. You only have 1 strategic choice. You only play that card. So then you're just trying to decide where is the best use for that card at all times. And it's very limiting when you're up against opponents that are relatively skilled, because you just need more options. And I don't know what's up with the queue today. I usually, if you've been watching these videos, most of the time I get human opponents. Here we go. Bot game. I don't find these decks to be as useful against bots, actually. Thanks. You're welcome. Good luck. Yikes. Oops. Already I am breaking my rules because I just used my koala. Whoops. That is not good. Not good. This is not how you play this deck at all. Oh boy. Oh. Alright. So already you're starting to see the disadvantages of this style of play. Oh no, the poison timed out. I am playing so badly against a bot of all things. Yeek. There we go again. Alright, here we go. I'm getting into my cycle now. This is what I was saying. I feel like this strategy just does not work very well against bots. I haven't exactly figured out why, but that's just kind of how it goes. Alright, there we go. We're getting in it now. Okay. So, I am only playing... I'm now in my groove here, so I'm only playing the cards that are that I am assigned to play next. So I only have this one slot over here in my deck that I'm allowed to play from. And when I finally got into my groove, you could see that it worked very efficiently, and I was able to put out a lot of units rather quickly. But as with with bots, they throw all those units at you right at the beginning, and if you make the wrong choices right at the outset, then you kind of get behind. So that did not work as well as I was hoping. I will play one more game, and we will try the 2-tank strategy again with the 5-card mini deck with 3-card reserve. Really, the concept of a 3-card reserve came out of the changes they made to the deck rotation, and I am always trying to figure out ways of gaming the system. I'm trying to figure out a way of using the game against itself, kind of breaking the game, so to speak, so that to gain me some sort of advantage. And when a deck like this goes the way it's supposed to, it is really intimidating to play against. But it's just so risky because you only are playing one card. All right. There we go. Play that. Then that. Oh no. Got me. Shoot. Oh no. Oh good, it's not a real angel. That is not putting the devil there in front of the poison was not necessarily the play I wanted to make, but it was the card that I had assigned to play next. So that was the one that I had to use. And what's going on with this bot is he's just behind me in mana, and the reason he's behind me in mana is because of this 5-card deck strategy. It doesn't seem like it would work that way, but that is what happens. I'm just constantly ahead of him. Notice now I've got 2 Vikings out there, and I'm able to produce many more expensive cards than he is because I am rotating through a much smaller deck, and it gives me this advantage. I only had to break out the koala one time I think it was only once for to defend against his koala, and I never used the dragon, and I can't remember using the roll laser even. So I was really reducing my deck down to 5 cards, and they rotated through very quickly. And yeah, I'm not always able to make the best strategic choices, but my deck is just so much more efficient than somebody else's when it works well. Again, the problem is when you're up against somebody in high elo, they're varying up their play strategy so much over the course of the game. They're throwing so many different things at you that the strategy doesn't really work all that well, unless you surprise somebody with it in a friendly game. So I've had lots of comments from other high elo players like, how are you doing this? How are you putting out so many 5-mana units? Like how come I've got so many Vikings? How do you have a Viking and a dragon and all that sort of thing? And it's all because of this particular play style. It does that. Oops, I didn't want to play. I was just pointing out that I have 400 trophies now, and I have broken 1,000. So I am now among the top 1,000 players of Magic Brick Wars globally. I have a win streak of 34. I have won 34 times, and I have lost 0. So I'm doing pretty good even with varying up my strategy. I'm doing pretty good. So I don't know what I'm going to do next. I do need to try and work my Bowbones into my deck because I love the Bowbones. And then I also need to start making smart choices in how I'm going to spend my gold. So I do think I need to spend my 800 gold on the boulder, but there's 800 gold here for the Bowbones. I think I'm going to spend 800 gold on this, and the thing is, I've got so many chests to open that I think I'm going to be able to make enough gold to upgrade my boulder. But I am leaving all these other things very not upgraded. So again, I'm making strategic choices about how to spend my gold. Part of this is because I know when you get to high elo what works and what doesn't, and so then this is why I recommend playing high elo players in friendly matches. I just had somebody in the 40s, Sprach, play me in some friendly battles this morning. He did exactly what I said people could do. He invited me to be his friend, which my second account is already friends with my main account. So you can just scroll up to right now I'm number 4, and you invite me to be your friend, challenge me to a friendly battle, and I definitely lost to Sprach here. So I'm going to invite him to be friends with my second account. So, and that's how you test what's good, what's not good, is by playing somebody like me, and then that helps you make those strategic choices as to what is worth purchasing, what's worth upgrading. How do you spend your gold? All right.